Intellectual property rights are the rights given to persons over the creation of their minds for a certain period of time. This is because with the growing number of innovations and emergence of new business ideas, sufficient intellectual property becomes crucial. For many businesses, intellectual property protects more than just an idea or a concept. It protects genuine business assets that may be integral to the core services of the business and overall long-term viability. This week on Moolah Insider, we tell you why you need to protect your business idea, no matter how small, and how to go about that. My name is Margaret Wahito. We start with our key highlights. The National Treasury has agreed to inject cash into Kenya Power and Kenya Airways in the coming financial year starting July 2022. The move is aimed at giving a financial boost to the two firms following their financial struggles accelerated by the COVID-19 pandemic. In the last financial year ended June 2021, the National Treasury departed from its earlier International Monetary Fund-backed stance, which favored long-term reforms to solve cash flow challenges facing state-controlled firms and parastatals instead of bailouts. This is after it pumped an additional 10 billion shillings into Kenya Airways. Equally, debt-laden Kenya Power has also sunk into a near-dire financial position, with operating costs rising faster than revenue, exacerbated by elevated financial costs and system losses, which hit 15.9 billion shillings for the year through June 2020. Air ticket and flight charges are set to go up after the doubling of jet fuel prices. According to data from the International Air Transport Association and Platts, jet fuel prices has doubled to 83,100 shillings per ton in the past 1 year. Most airlines gave up hedging future fuel demand due to the turmoil in the oil market last year, leaving them more exposed than usual to subsequent surges in oil prices. And now to our main story of the week. Intellectual property consists of many different areas, from logos and corporate identity through to products, services, and processes that differentiate any business offering. It is when these ideas are used without permission that an organization or an individual can suffer. Almost all businesses have undoubtedly benefited from the internet, where products, services, and marketing communications can reach vast audiences at relatively low costs. But this has also increased chances of intellectual property theft. This week, we dig deep into why every idea or business is worth protecting and how to go about that. Let's take a look. Njeri Wachira and Ida Gashoki hatched their small business ideas less than 2 years ago while still in university. Njeri, who studied forensic science, launched Organics by Njeri 1.5 years ago. Njeri Organics is an online business that deals in shea butter skincare products.
I started my business back in campus, where I would sell the products to my classmates and to their friends as well. But I didn't have a page by that time. I just used to sell by referrals. So I didn't have my own brand. I didn't have packaging. I literally used to pack shea butter and black soap in a what is it called? Cling film. I just wrap it and I give it. I didn't have a label, everything. When I finished school, I was like, let me make this my main hustle. I became serious about it. I was like, I want to make this brand my own and make good products, my own line.
Njeri's initial savings of about 20,000 shillings could only afford her raw materials from Ghana and transport. However, she has been able to grow the business from selling the products to close friends and family to selling to walk-in clients at her shelf in Nairobi's Central Business District.
I went and bought packaging materials, glass jars. I went and made my own brand. I created a logo and created the social media pages, and that's how I started. So I used to take photos. I used to make the products and then take photos and then post on my WhatsApp, Instagram, all the social media, and I will tell my family and friends to repost for me. Yeah, so that's how I started, and it's been 1.5 years. It's been an amazing journey. You learn a lot of things.
On the other hand, Ida Gashoki started making interior wall hangings from framed canvas with customized printing as per client specifications. Ida, who just cleared university, took this route from her passion in interior design.
I make canvas frames for interior decor, and this idea was born in 2018, the last quarter of 2018. And what inspired me was I've always been into interior decor, yeah? So I follow a lot of interior decor pages, and that's where I drew my inspiration from. So I would see hangings on the wall in different, locations and all of that, and I would question what's that material up there, what's making the hanging, what goes into even putting that hanging on the wall, and that's how I started.
Jerry and Ida are among the growing number of young artisans in the country who are earning a living from their own small-scale creations. And with the expanding digital space, most of these new businesses are thriving online due to their wider client base with less cost. However, entertainment and intellectual property lawyer Liz Lenger says this is where the idea of intellectual property rights becomes crucial.
The one thing that we're getting wrong is we get so excited and caught up with the stuff we're creating that we immediately go online. But the question is, have you protected? How have you protected your creations? And this protection is on different levels. There's a registration level. What kind of creation is this, and how can it be protected? Is it going to be created by copyright? Is it going to be protected by trademark? Is it going to be protected by industrial design? That has to be investigated first, and you secure that protection. So again, you can't do this by yourself. You need an IP lawyer to ensure that they assist you with that registration. And this registration will also be based with your long-term plan of the business, with your long-term plan for these designs, for example, all dependent on the kind of work that you do. And an IP strategy is created for you first. So before you put any picture online, you have to ensure that you've protected yourself, you've registered it to begin with.
Intellectual property rights are legal rights that provide creators protections for original works, inventions, artistic works, scientific developments, and others. And for Jerry and Ida, this is what they know about intellectual property rights.
I haven't necessarily protected my idea because I don't think it's an original idea. For sure, I'm not the only one doing wall hangings or interior decor. And I don't think it's particularly necessary to protect the idea or patent it because it's an evolving idea.
I've had that issue where someone comes and duplicates your product and they sell them with their other name. Your exact same product, but now with another name. So personally, I haven't experienced it, but I feel like that's a very major and a big challenge in the small-scale industry. And maybe what I would say is register with the government. Make sure your logo, just develop your logo and have a website. Because you see, if you have your own website, if today Instagram wakes up and says we don't want the app to be there today, you see your business will die because yeah. So I feel like creating such steps is one of the ways to solve that.
Intellectual property rights can be wide and large depending on different countries and cultures. In Kenya, the common ones are divided into two areas, that is industrial properties and copyright. Under industrial property, we have patenting, utility models, industrial designs, and trademarks. Patenting involves registering and owning all the rights of a completely new idea, innovation, or business. Under this, the owner of the idea has exclusive rights for a period of 20 years and which he or she can decide to renew. Utility models involves protecting additional inventions of a previously original idea that belonged to someone else for a period of 10 years. However, under utility models, one has to get the permission from the original creator before going commercial. Industrial designs include protecting any compositions of lines or colors or any three-dimensional form of creation for a period of 15 years. This could be protecting ideas like unique furniture designs, tables, chairs designs, and others. The last under industrial property is trademarks. This involves protecting any elements put together to establish a brand. This could be the name of a business or company, logo, slogans, tagline, and others. The key thing to note here is that trademarks should only be distinctive and not descriptive of the service or product being sold. The other part of intellectual property protection is copyright, which mainly focuses on protecting your creative expressions or ideas, including artistical work, music, audiovisual productions like movies, software work, and others. Copyright protects the author of the work for life and 50 years after their death. Despite the law offering all these intellectual property rights, majority of small artisans are still not keen on protecting their ideas despite the benefits.
Because again, when you register, like I said earlier, you have the opportunity to now license to other people, to even competitors. You're basically saying, created something amazing. Me, I can license it to you. You go commercialize and pay me, right? So that is residual income. The only part you broke your sweat was when you were inventing or when you were creating.
At the moment, Lenjo says there are only about 100,000 trademarks in the country and only 50,000 patents, with the majority being international original creations. But whatever the idea, she advises, it is worth protecting even if you don't have money to commercialize yet. After that in-depth story about intellectual property rights, we now take a look at the word of the week. Now, our word of the week is genericide. Genericide is when a trademark has become a generic trade name for a product or service, thereby losing its distinctive capacity. This phenomenon occurs when the registered mark has been widely used for any length of time in the market for all products of the same kind. You're watching Moolah Insider, and to watch our previous episodes, please log on to www.moolah.co.ke or link with us on our social media pages. Next is Pursuits. And in Pursuits this week, our star is David Mathenge, popularly known as Nameless. Nameless has been in the music industry over a decade and narrates how he started out in the industry, the journey and the challenges in the industry. Let's take a look.
For me, music had always been interested in music. I'll say I was, we are normally passionate about music. Everyone is passionate in some way. I was passionate in terms of the fact that I remember I used to listen to Snoop Dogg and all those guys from out there, and some guys from here, but there were no real pop artists, urban pop artists from Kenya at that time. So I realized I really liked, playing around with words, rapping and stuff like that. So when I got into campus, you meet one or two friends who are interested in the same passion. So we just said, let's see if we can record a song or two. So that was initially for fun. So let me go to the studio, we recorded, and I remember the first song I recorded with my friend Neto was called Uchana Kupenda. So during the day I would be in campus, at night I would go to work at the bank. So this particular day, I don't know, I'd reached a point I was like, well, I don't know if I really want to, get into music because 2 or 3 times I'd tried to go to performances, they were not really good. The 2 or 3 times I tried to do auditions, I was being rejected. So this night when I heard them say, if you think you can rap or, call, it was in Capital, and they were asking, if you think you can rap, you'll win a competition with Ted Josiah. And I was like really not sure whether I want to try it. I was not sure whether, I wasn't sure about my talent at that point, on that night. But I always feel like there's that part of me that really wanted to try it out and see. When I did that, and I was asked my name, I realized every time I would go out there to perform before, I never decided on a name. I would just pick a name, I don't like it. I pick another name, I don't like it. So in this particular case, when they asked me and I was trying to still be anonymous, that's when I said Nameless. And that's 20 years ago, right? 99. So at that point, when I won the competition and won a competition with the biggest producer, basically, I can say that's when my music career started. Once I got into the industry as Nameless and we recorded Mega Rider, my mind started now looking at it seriously. Like, okay, now you're a brand. What's your brand? And then I started being called for shows. From then on is when my mind started now being strategic about how can I really actually earn from this music. Yeah. The first show I got I was told it's for exposure. So it was for free as Nameless. But I used it to show that kind of brand I was. So the first show, when I was told, you know, this is going to be good for you because there's going to be all sorts of people there and they're curious to know who Nameless is. Of course, I'm new in the industry, so I'm like, sour. So I dressed up. I got 2 girls who are in university with me and told them, wait, do you want to be dancers with me? Yeah. So I got a Zorro look. And so the first show, of course, was for free. But we did such a good performance that people were curious to know, can we get Nameless again? So the next time I was called for a show, I was given 7.5. In my head, I was like, yo, did I just make 7.5 for one performance? So my mind quickly started thinking, yo, there's a business here that I need to take seriously. So that's when I started now trying to understand the industry and talking to the people who were there from TED. That time, Giddy Giddy were already in the industry, and I started to understand, where do you guys earn your money? So that's when they told me there's through performance and there's through sales of CDs. And out of those 2, I felt that performance was earning more money because people are not buying urban music that much that time. So that's when I started thinking I need to be more of a performing artist. And I can hopefully earn money to pay my fees. Because at that point, I was not really thinking of it as a career still. I was just thinking of it as something I can earn money from. You know, because I was still planning to be an architect. Remember, I was still studying architecture. So as I said earlier, like I was thinking, okay, I need to be a performance pop artist. So my music had to change into performance-friendly music. So I moved to a producer called Ogopa DJs, who I was seeing to be making music that was very danceable and fun and easy. So from then on, my style of writing became more, you know, driven like that. So that's when I started now writing songs like Minanoki. That's when we came together with Issa, who was a very strong hip-hop artist, and did songs like Boomba, and did like Mos Mos, if you know the songs Ogopa was doing at that time. And it would ensure that, you know, we keep getting shows, you know. Yeah, so that's for me, that was the strategy of making money from my passion.
After pursuits, we take a look at the leading indicators this week, starting with the stocks and foreign exchange. Next, we take a look at the prices of basic commodities this week. That's all we had for you this week on Moolah Insider. To watch our previous bulletins, please log on to www.moolah.co.ke or link with us on our social media pages. My name is Margaret Wahito. See you next week.